Welcome to Loughborough Boxing, joined by regular Sean down in sunny Brighton. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Not bad at all. Come on, Brentford. That's all I'll say. Moving, getting back onto boxing. So tomorrow night, Birmingham, Easter Sunday. After we've all been eating our Easter eggs and feel sick, good decent fight card to be honest from boxer. One on the undercard, Frazer Clarke returns after that Fabio Wardley whooping. Fighting Tete, who took Dillian White a few rounds, didn't he? And gave him a few problems in Gibraltar. Give us your thoughts, Sean. How's this fight going?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's good to see Fraser back after what happened against Fabio. So glad he's back and doing what he enjoys. It's an interesting fight, as you say. Tete took Dylan quite far in Gibraltar. That was probably a fight to not speak about too much, I would suggest. But in terms of this fight, I think Frazer Clarke will potentially want rounds because it was a 1-round blowout against Fabio. He hasn't really been in the ring because of the injury, obviously. So I imagine he will want to get a good sort of 2-3 rounds in and then potentially go for the stoppage.
Now, Sean, I was in Manchester a couple of weeks ago for the Joe George fight, and Fabio Ward was there, but also Frazer Clarke was there. Now he looks the part. He's a big old lump. But is there something missing from him? Is he going to be one of them fighters who doesn't transition over to the pro game?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I've always found that about him, to be honest. I know in previous shows when we spoke about him, I've not been the most complimentary or his biggest fan since he's been pro. And I think that's the case. You know, we've seen it in the past with guys like David Price and others. They're brilliant amateurs, but just can't transition into the professional game for whatever reason. And I think that's the same with Frazer. I think potentially his chin isn't the best, as we've seen in a couple of previous fights. He's been knocked down as well. So I think ultimately, in the professional game, the British level is his ceiling, unfortunately.
Making all the right noises, isn't it? You know, saying the right things, but he's just not very convincing. I mean, in the British heavyweight scene, where do you put him, Sean? In around Hughie Fury, Jamie TKV, Adelaide? Is he in around them sort of guys?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, one fighter who I saw a couple of weeks ago was Matty Harris. He opened the show in Brighton, and I think that will be a real decent fight, to be honest. Him and Frazer Clarke, they both got a loss on their record, and they're both sort of big lumps. So I think that could be a good eliminator, perhaps for the British title. Then let's see what happens with Adelaide and TKV in their rematch.
Geez, I mean, that's a crossroad fight for Harris and Clarke, innit? Whoever lost that one, it'd be a long, long way back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we always speak, don't we, about having competitive 50-50 fights, and that's what we want to see. And I think that will just be that, if those two was the fight.
Interesting. So coming back to the Clarke fight then tomorrow evening, how do you see it going?
Yeah, as we've seen with Tete, he can be durable. It depends what sort of shape and motivation he turns up with. But I think Frazer Clarke will come through. I think he'll give himself a couple of rounds, and I think he'll step on it and get the stoppage.
I've gone Clarke points because I think Tete's a big old lump. I'm not sure Clarke's got the punch power to get him out of there.
Yeah.
I think a one-sided fight, don't get me wrong. But Tete's tailor-made for Clarke, isn't he? He ain't going to have to go looking for him. But he can bang a little bit, Tete, so you don't want to be getting caught, does it?
Yeah. My memory isn't the best, unfortunately, but didn't he have Dubois hair or down in the fight when he boxed him?
My memory's even worse than yours then, because I'll take your word for that one.
Yeah, so he's definitely danger, and it'd be interesting to see how Frazer reacts coming off the broken jaw. So that's always going to be in the back of his mind as well if he gets clocked. So again, it's a fight with plenty of intrigue going into it.
He's got the mental aspect to put up with Hunter. You know, and I know people say you just need to get back on the horse quickly, but when you've been wiped out like that, you know, will he be able to pull the trigger? You know, there's a lot of question marks, right?
Yeah, definitely. And as we said with previous fights, history showed when people's been injured like this, they never quite come back the same, unfortunately.
He hasn't got many more losses in him, though. I know that sounds stupid, but if he wants to dine anywhere near the top table of heavyweight boxing, he can't really afford a loss to this guy, right? He's got to look good doing it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's got age on his side either, is he? I mean, I know he's a heavyweight, but we speak about Joe Joyce turning pro late and a bit too old. I think Frazer Clarke's in the same boat in that regard as well.
Yeah. Okay. Me and Shauna gave our predictions. Like, comment, subscribe below. If you agree or disagree, like, comment, subscribe. This has been Last Ball Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel and LW Liftings Limited. Cheers, Sean. We'll see you on the next video.
Thanks, mate.